What I've been most excited about is the work that we've been able to do with our leadership team around the Rediness 360 process, as far as working on building teamwork, being able to speak honestly about what it means. We were a church that really needed to figure out our identity again, and so we took some time in discernment to identify the key values of our church, and then took those key values and created a new mission statement. We had an older, longer one that nobody could remember, so we came up with a new one, GPS, growing in faith, proclaiming Christ's love, and serving with compassion. And so that was really a bonding time for our leadership team and helped us set a direction as we moved forward.
What really captured our interest was just being able to kind of find out where our church is sitting as a whole. You know, as a pastor, you don't get a chance to talk to every single member of the church, and so this was just a really great way to anonymously see where everybody was feeling, as far as where we are missionally as a church and where we feel like we want to go forward.
What's significant about Rediness 360's coaching relationship with the pastor and the church leaders is that the role of the coach isn't to say, right, here's the new program you should do. This is the very thing that my expertise says you should do. No, we don't come in as experts in everything. We come in to help the congregation determine its own next steps. So the coach isn't there to write a new vision statement for you. The coach isn't there to tell you what to do next. The coach is there to help you discover how you as a church can best reach your mission field. And I love that about this coaching method. We don't come in to tell you or to sell you anything. It's to help you determine where God is leading you next in this journey of sharing God's love in Jesus Christ.
Oftentimes, churches they know what they need to do. They know what they should be doing, but figuring out how to do it is the challenging part. And with the help of the Rediness 360 program and the help of the coach that comes in, you can talk things through, you can get some ideas, and you can develop a plan to do what you want to do.
Our world changes when we have paradigm shifts. Our 360 represents the opportunity for our conference and the world to do a paradigm shift. The challenge is for our members, our conferences, and our churches to understand we now have the power of a wheel. 360 degrees is a circle. What would happen if we would get John Wesley and we would put him on his horse, and behind that horse we would put a cart, and on that cart we would put onto it 2 wheels? How much leverage do we need to be able to transform the world if we'll use the power of the wheel? This is a paradigm shift.
You see, when you look at the different dimensions of Rediness 360, if you know what you want or what the life of a church should be, you will easily get interested. Or let me just look at the 4 core areas in Rediness 360. Here you're talking about, spiritual intensity. You are talking about, you see there that you're going to be looking at, dynamic relationships in the church. And you're talking about missional alignment, and you're talking about cultural openness. You say, whoa, this is what we should be, and this is what we should be. So how do we really understand where we are? So when you see that and the way it is put together, you just feel, yeah, I think this is what I would need to do with the church. And the idea that, well, it is not the conference or the bishop or the district superintendent coming to tell you that this is who you are or this is what you need to do, but that you are introduced to a process where you, as a church, will critically look at where you're coming from and where you are to help you dream on a future that is brighter for the church.
I don't know about other churches, but churches I've served have sometimes had church councils that weren't especially well trained or gifted in doing visioning kind of work. So asking them those questions and building that into the structure of what we're doing as church council was a growth area. And so just getting to that point was a little bit challenging. So we decided to do a retreat in September, a half-day retreat, and we were going to deal with the Rediness 360 things and kind of where we sensed vision moving. And that has come out differently than I expected it to, and yet it has borne some fruit in terms of some concrete steps of what we think are, naming what we think is important here in our calling, and then also how we can grow in those areas.
Well, one thing that we might say about Rediness 360 is that if your church is ready for growth, if your church is ready to make a difference in your community, if your church is looking for ways to serve, then a good foundational step for you is to take the Rediness 360 survey and get the results from that so that you will have an informed way to move forward. It will identify the things that you need to work on and your areas of opportunity, but also your areas of strength and gifts.